Hello there. How are you? How's it going, everybody? We're back on the job today. We're at the well that we had to chlorinate. So we're going to go and flush all the lines out, and then we'll take a water sample and get that down to the lab so that we can have it tested and make sure all this bacteria is gone. Let's go and get this done. Alright, so while the water is running and we are flushing the system out, I will go over the paperwork that we have to fill out. Up here, I would put my business name, and my address because I am the client for the laboratory. I'd also put my phone number. The property being tested, I would put the homeowner's name here and their address. Under here, for reasons for testing, most of the time I'll do just a routine check, no apparent problem. Sometimes, there's some other things. These are probably more for home inspectors. In this particular case, I'm going to do possible problem and then write potential for bacteria, and home inspector wanted well shocked. We'll move on down. You have sampling instructions, so they'll tell you for potable drinking water or potable drinking water, depending on where you're from and how you want to pronounce it. You want to remove screens from faucets. Wells equipped with a hand or mechanical pump or pumps should be run for 5 minutes before the sample is collected. We'll remove the cap from the sample bottle and fill the bottle to within 1 inch of the top, and then replace the cap. Water mains, like from the city, you want to flush them and run them for 2 to 3 minutes to clear the service line. Here's a big pointer. Samples must be refrigerated or chilled below 39 degrees Fahrenheit and transported with ice to the laboratory. Deliver as soon as possible, maximum of 24 hours. Then we'll come down here, sampling information. You want the date collected, the time that the sample was collected, whether it's potable water, public supply, private supply. Is it a drilled well? Do you know the depth? Shallow well? All this stuff you would check accordingly. Same thing with here, the sampling point. Most of the time I will do the tap. A lot of times not from the well, it's from a tap. And then you get down to the bottom here. You have any evidence of the following: staining, discoloration, odors, anything like that, you would list and check accordingly in this section. Then as the person sampling, you put your name, sign it, and then the rest down here is if you need an extra copy for your client or your client's realtor or whoever you might need an extra copy for, that would go down here. And then they just ask you at the bottom here how you found them. There's a whole back side here. This is for the laboratory though, so it is nothing that we end up dealing with. But that is all of the required paperwork that needs to be done for one of these samples. So we fill this out while the water is being flushed out. That usually takes about 5 minutes to do, and then it's ready to fill the bottle. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, once you have a water sample, you want to take a cooler and you want to have some ice packs in your cooler and put that sample in there because you want to keep it cool while you bring it to the lab. You also want to get it to them as soon as possible, within 24 hours. We ran the faucet for a little bit over 5 minutes before we took the sample, and you put it in the bottle, seal it up, put the paperwork on there, and bring it to them. So without further ado, let's hit the road and get that sample to them so that we can get it in there at a good time. Okay, so I don't have the actual results from this water yet, but I do have a sample from another house that I took, and I just want to show you what the results look like. So up here we have the results for the bacteria. So obviously at this house there was bacteria present here. The X down here indicates that there is a test sample from up here that is outside the limits that are acceptable. If this upper box was X'd, it would mean that everything up here was within the maximum levels allowed. So obviously here, this one being with the star, as it shows here, is our problem test. The others are all within specifications. Over in this column it tells you what is allowed. So none present. Since we have some, obviously we're above that maximum contaminant level. This is 1 milligram per liter. We're well under that here. As we move down to this next section, some of these we didn't end up testing for. You can obviously ask them to test for these things. I just usually do the basic test as long as everything looks alright. So here it will show you what's outside. If it's ND, none is detected, 2 stars, the test results have exceeded the other levels recommended by Connecticut or local health departments. So obviously most of these are within that specification recommended range. This one, our pH, is outside of the recommended range, 6.4 to 10.0. Being 6.3, we're a little bit on the acidic side, and so that might eat the pipes away a little bit quicker. This one's not crazy outside of the range, so they will probably not want to do a system for here. However, being that there is bacteria present, they would probably definitely want at least to try and shock the well. This is probably what the report looked like, very similar to the house we just did. Like I said, I'm still waiting on that report to come in, so I don't actually have it specific to what we just did, but I'm sure that it will come back with flying colors. And down here there might be some things because there was lots of sediment and everything, so some of these might be high. That's not as critical as anything up here. This is the real big issue section that you want to worry about. Down here, yeah, you might need a system, conditioning system of some kind. Some people will go for it, some people won't. Up here though, you have bacteria or anything like that, you definitely want to get that taken care of. So this is just what one of those results looked like. Just wanted to show that to you. If you got something out of this video, please leave a like down below. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you that are following along, and to those of you who aren't following along, I would love to have you climb aboard. So until next time, guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next job.